In pea plants, smooth peas, big S, are dominant to wrinkled peas, little s, and purple flowers, big P, are dominant to white flowers, little p. A plant with genotype, big S, little s, big P, little p, is crossed with a plant that is heterozygous for pea shape with white flowers, big S, little p, little p. How many different genotypes will appear in the offspring? So the first thing I always want to do is make sure I understand what the genotypes I'll be using in my crosses are, and so I can see that they've actually given me both of those, and so I'm ready to make my Punnett squares. And since I'm looking at 2 traits, I'll need 2 boxes. Now my first Punnett square is going to be about pea shape. So that means that I need the genotype for pea shape from both of the parents here. And so they're both heterozygous for pea shape. So I'll put 1 across the top and 1 down the side and then fill that in. And my next box is going to be about flower color. So this plant is heterozygous and this plant is homozygous recessive. And now I can fill it in. And that's how you fill in your Punnett squares for a dihybrid cross. Now let's look at our question. How many different genotypes will appear in the offspring? Well, in the first Punnett square, I've got a homozygous dominant, I've got 2 heterozygous, and I've got a homozygous recessive. So that's 3 different genotypes. In my second Punnett square, I've got heterozygous and homozygous recessive. So that's 2 different genotypes. And so now the question is, what do I do with my 3 and my 2? Whenever you've got numbers from 2 Punnett squares in a dihybrid cross, you always multiply them to figure out your answer. And so 3 times 2 is 6. There are 6 different genotypes that could appear in the offspring of this cross.